Rocket Power always felt different, not because it was about extreme sports, but because it felt like real life before you had language for it. When I was a kid, I thought I was Otto Rocket, but I wasn't Otto. Not even close. I was Squid. And it took me about 20 years to figure out that wasn't a bad thing.
Hey Moondoggy! These waves are cool-o-rooney!
Rocket Power wasn't really about skating or surfing, snowboarding. It was about identity. Otto Rocket was the kid everybody wanted to be. Confident, fearless, the natural leader, the kid who would walk into a room and immediately feel like he should be there. Otto wasn't just talented, he expected himself to succeed.
You scared yet?
And that is a superpower when you're a kid. It's something that's marveled at. Most of us knew an Otto. Some of us hated him. Some of us secretly wanted to be him. Then there was Reggie. The older I become, the more I realized that Reggie was probably the most complete character in this series. She was competitive, smart, capable. She wasn't chasing approval, she was chasing improvement. A lot of kids looked at Otto as the hero, but honestly, Reggie was somebody to look up to as well.
A peaceful surfing expression session, protest of the male-dominated surf magazine industry.
Then you have Twister. Every friend group had a Twister. The kind of guy who would jump first, ask questions later, who'd get into, hijinks, be the one to make you hop in someone else's pool, get chased after, you're the slowest one. That kid who would give you a story to tell for years, and you'd never forget it. Twister represented momentum. Not planning, not strategy, just movement. Every kid needs a friend like Twister.
Oh, hey, come on, watch out! What are you doing?
Then there was Sam, better known as Squid. Somebody I completely misunderstood as a kid. Because when you're young, Squid feels lame.
They got sand in the potato salad!
He gets made fun of, chased after, can't do any of the sports anyone's doing, but he tries anyway. Always worried about what everyone else thinks. But when you're an adult and you look back at the show, you realize Squid isn't a joke. He's most of us. He was a kid who wanted to belong. The kid who wasn't immediately good at things. Who had to work harder for confidence. Who showed up anyway. And that's a completely different character when you watch the show at 30 instead of 10. Then there was Tito, and he might be one of the most underrated cartoon characters ever. Because Tito wasn't a parent, a teacher, a coach.
Hey, little cousins, let's move to a different spot on the beach.
He was something most kids desperately need and never get. A trusted adult who won't just parent you, who will tell you how it really is. Somebody that is looking out for you but isn't going to get in the way of your mischief. Tito never felt like he was talking down to the kids. He wasn't trying to control them. He was trying to guide them.
Like the ancient Hawaiians say, never provoke the wrath of a 10-year-old wahine.
The older I get, I realize how important that role is and how a lot of kids just never get that. Because every kid remembers an Otto and every kid knows a Squid, but not every kid had a Tito.
Oh, this lobster pot's getting pretty heavy. Oh.
Then there was Raymundo.
What is this fish taco?
A single dad running a restaurant.
Flounder with pico de gallo and a flour tortilla.
Raising kids. Trying to make it all work.
What's pico de gallo?
Hot salsa.
Which is a sentence I thought I'd never appreciate as a kid.
Is a fish taco shaped like a fish?
When I was little, Raymundo was just somebody else's dad.
Sure, whatever. Is that what you want?
As an adult, he might be one of the most realistic parents on a cartoon show.
No, I'll have a cheeseburger.
On Nickelodeon especially. Because he wasn't perfect. He wasn't some cartoon superhero parent. He was tired, busy, trying to make it all work. Just like real parents. He would tell stories of himself and his friends getting into hijinks just like the kids do now. And although he had to be a parent sometimes, he wasn't as judgmental. And maybe that's why Rocket Power felt different, because nobody in the show felt perfect. Everybody was trying to become something, especially Squid. And I really didn't understand that until I went to my first skate park. When I say I was Squid, I don't mean that in a vague way.
You stink at skateboarding.
I mean, there was specific moments in Rocket Power that I didn't have words for at the time, but I felt in my body. Squid's always just a step behind the group. They're heading out to skate. He's still getting his stuff together. He's leaving his house, they're halfway down the road, and they weren't trying to be mean. They were just living at a different speed. At the time, skateboarding wasn't just a sport. It was status. It was identity. It was the neighborhood language. You could walk through pretty much any school parking lot in America and immediately know who skateboarded. They had shoes, they had shirts, their knees were scraped up, board was destroyed, chipped. I used to grind mine on the curb just so it looked like I did something. Rock Power showed up right in the middle of all that. This was the Tony Hawk X Games era, where kids thought they were one good afternoon away from becoming a pro. But it wasn't just skating, that whole period felt different. You had Travis Pastrana launching himself through rings of fire on a motorcycle. Bam Margera turning skateboarding, chaos, and property damage into a career.
Come on, man. I gotta go to work. Jerk off. What was that?
You had Jackass becoming one of the biggest shows on television, even though none of us probably should have been watching Jackass.
High five!
It wasn't exactly kid-friendly. A bunch of grown men getting launched by rodeo bulls, shopping carts, shoving things in places we probably can't talk about here. Half of them probably had concussions before breakfast. But they were showing something. They were showing that you could go out and do whatever you wanted to do. They would try something ridiculous, they'd smile, they'd laugh, they'd fail miserably, and then they'd do it again. The message wasn't be smart, the message was go do something. And it felt like the world was full of people that were creating that for themselves. Nobody was waiting to be perfect, they were just doing it. They were going out. And kids absorbed that. I was an Otto. I had friends, I could talk to people, but I wasn't the kid that looked like he belonged in every single room. I'd be on the bench in baseball. I wouldn't play any minutes of soccer.
6 hours later.
Skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing. I just couldn't find my balance. I was always the kid trying to figure it out mid-fall. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I think that's why Squid hit me differently later. Because Squid wasn't the joke. He was just the kid in motion. But I didn't fully understand that until I was staring down the 12-foot half pipe. My friend's mom brought us there for the first time. And the whole drive over, my stomach has this pit in it because I know I can't skateboard. I'm not good at it. I just stand on the board. I'm trying to balance. And I knew it was going to happen. I was going to get exposed. And not as a bad skater. As a poser. And if you know the culture, being called a poser is probably the most heinous thing you could be called. It was essentially a death sentence, and you weren't allowed to wear the clothes or pretend you could skateboard or hang out with your friends that did skateboard. So we get there, my friend takes off immediately. He's trying gaps, he's doing tricks, ollies, kick flips, trying to grind. And me, I'm walking around. I'm walking around with my skateboard in my hand, just observing. Not like I'm supposed to be a part of any of this, just walking around. And I don't even remember how I ended up in line for the 12-foot half pipe. But I did. Suddenly I'm there. I'm in line, I'm going up the stairs, and I'm looking down at how far I'm going from the ground. And I am getting more and more scared step by step. So I finally get up there and I'm looking down. Looks like the ground's been deleted. A 90-degree angle straight down. And in my brain I'm going, there's no version of me that should be doing this. I can't do this. Why am I standing up here? But I'm in line and there's kids all the way back and they're waiting for me to go. They don't want me to, I can't turn around at this point. I got 20 kids staring at me. I take one big breath and I drop. And I immediately lose it, obviously. No control, no recovery, just straight forward, right off the board. My knees scrape against the wood and echo this awful screech noise through the entire park. I'm laying at the bottom of it. I'm just laying there. And I'm thinking to myself, this is it. It's the end of my life. This is done. I can't be anyone's friend anymore. I've failed. Falling is one thing, but falling in front of people who know what they're doing. But I open my eyes and nobody's laughing. Nobody called me out. They just looked at me, staring. My friend goes, "You actually tried that? I would never get up there. That is so scary." And that confused me more than anything because I thought I wasn't going to have friends when I stood up. I expected humiliation and somehow I garnered respect. That's when I realized what Rocket Power was trying to tell us. It's not about being good, it's about being willing. Most people never get to that point. They stay in line, watching, waiting, never dropping in. I was never naturally athletic like that. I had to figure everything out the hard way. But that doesn't make all those earlier moments pointless. It just meant I was the kid who had to earn confidence through doing, instead of just being given it. When you're a kid, you think there's only two types of people, the Ottos and the Squids. But Rocket Power never really saw it that way. Squid wasn't behind, he was just still in it, still trying, still showing up. And that's where most of us were, because every Otto you know started as someone who couldn't do it. They just stayed in the game long enough to figure it out. And maybe most of us weren't Otto, but Squid is the one that kept moving everything forward. And that's not something you outgrow. That's something you learn to respect. So yeah, were you Otto or were you Squid? And if you know someone still figuring it out, send this to them.